All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it. It's time to get serious around here. Welcome to the Paranormal Portal. I'm your host, Brent Thomas, and thank you so much for joining me. As always, we are in for a boatload of fun here on the Paranormal Portal because that's just what we do here. And if you're not having fun, get the hell out. Just get the hell out. Yeah, that all of a sudden I'm sitting here alone. Damn it. Note to self, don't say get out. No, I'm just kidding. Hopefully you guys are doing great, though. Happy Saturday. Hope you're having a great weekend. Whatever it is you're doing, but I know at least part of the time you're hanging out here with me, which is an incredible honor, as always. I think everything is on and going. I think we're doing good. A great show with Wes 2 nights in a row, Brent. Oh, thank you, Vince. Yeah, I was over just a little bit ago hanging out on Wes's member stream over there. We had a great time. I love the guy. I love hanging out with Wes. Just a lot of fun, some great conversation, great discussions, and just a hell of a guy all around. So it's always cool to get those opportunities. So I take advantage of them when I can. But yeah, we had a great show over there. It was a great call in too by a guy named Max. Called in and shared his experience with, it sounds like he's experiencing some UFO stuff and potentially some abduction scenarios going on, including missing time. So it's pretty deep, but fantastic. Anyway, I really had a lot of fun over there, and special thanks to Wes for letting me be a part of it, and special thanks to Wes for coming on the show here last night. If you didn't watch it, you missed a great time. We had a lot of, Wes, probably the first half of the show just went through the show with me, normally doing the news and doing some discussions about twins and extrasensory perception that twins sometimes share from a thought catalog article. And then we dove into some question and answers for Wes, and you guys got to ask questions, and some great questions. Thank you to everybody for all the participation. I do need to apologize because I don't know that I missed any, but if I missed any questions, I apologize. It was, I was doing the best I could, but my chat ended up actually disappearing because you guys were asking so many questions that it actually filled up the queue and started deleting remarks at the end that I was on. So I think I missed some in the transition there, but I apologize for that. But it was a great discussion, and I'm sure Wes will be back sometime, and you can ask next time or whatever, if I can talk him into coming back. He had a great time though. He was really said that he enjoyed himself, and you guys were awesome. So thank you to everybody that took part in yesterday's show. That was a blast. And anything else? Oh yeah, Shane was over there from the shadows. Shane popped in over on Wes's stream too, so that was cool. There was the three of us for a while there. That was a fun discussion. But hi Car Juice over on Rumble. Good to see you. It's great to be seen over there. Thank you to everybody over there on Rumble that's listening. If there are some of you over there, I know Car Juice is there. I haven't seen Barbara yet, or Justin, or Dog, or Big D, but maybe they'll find their way in. At any rate, Car Juice is over there holding down the fort. Nice job. Car Juice says it was a great show. Oh, thanks. That's cool. But hello, Deborah Neighbors. Hello, John Stevenson. Hello, Drake 411. Good to see you. That's I think a new name unless you're a rebrand. But anyway, thank you for being here, watching the show. T-Bone is here, of course, as is Cryptical Crossroads. Josh is here. Who else? Kedstars just popped in, as well as Deborah Neighbors. Good to see you. And I'm scrolling. Rachel Gets It Right is in here. She was pretty much right in the door when I was. And not too soon after. Werewolf's here. Good to see you, Werewolf. And Joanne, hello. Hope you're having a wonderful night. As I go through the names. And, of course, the wonderful BJ Lapierre is here. Wonderful to see you. Thanks for stopping in and being a part of the shows as always. BJ often brings friends, which is really cool. I like that. That's pretty awesome. And feel free, any of you, to it's always bring a friend night here on the portal. So just spread the word. Bring as many people as you can find. Henry Dog is here. Henry, is that Henry Dong from before? Did you rebrand yourself? Are you now Henry Dog, or is this a whole different Henry? Let me know in the chat if you would, because either way, but welcome to the show. Welcome to show. What am I, Tarzan all of a sudden? Jesus. Welcome to the show either way is what I meant to say. Let's see. Isaac is here. Hello, Isaac. Give Kirsten and baby Ethan our love always. That's our Paranormal Portal union right there, wrapped up in Isaac and Kirsten, and they had a baby, little baby Ethan. So wonderful to see you guys. Thank you so much for being a part of my world, and thanks for posting the pictures. I keep loving the pictures of the baby. You guys should see baby Ethan. They got him posing on top of a pony. It's just adorable. He's such a cute baby. He's got those beautiful little eyes and just like little anime eyes. You know, you watch anime, any of you guys, you know, like they always have these huge eyes. That's baby Ethan's eyes. He's got anime eyes. Just open and sucking it all in. You know that's a smart boy. He's watching everything. Who else? Elaine is here. Hello, Elaine. Good to see you. My wonderful Elaine. T-Bone's in the house, of course. Good to see you, brother. Annie Manul is here. Good to have you here. I'm just doing some shout-outs because we didn't get much of a chance to talk between you and I last night because, you know, we got guests. We got to make our guests feel important. And let's see, who else? It looks like I might have everybody. That's everybody I can see so far. I got to go down to the other end of the chat and see if anybody stopped in. Hi, Bryce Edwards. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. That's a new name. Excellent. Good to have you here, man. Unless you're not a new name. I don't know. I'm so terrible with names. I'm really stupid about names, and I apologize if we've met before, but welcome back if you've been here before. But it's great to have you here either way. Daryl Stanley's in the house. Good to see you, Daryl. Thank you for coming in. Phil Jones is here. Yeah, Phil Jones. I read it right. Sometime Con Squatch came in. Good to see you, Con Squatch. Yeshua is here. Yeshua Reloaded. Diane Fowler's in here. So you guys are piling in. This is great. Good to have you all here. I'm just scrolling quick to see. I think I got everybody on that end. So just say hello if you come in. I always do my best to say hello to all you guys whenever I can. Did Wes come in? I didn't even see that. Did Wes come in? Oh, yeah, there he is. The man of the hour. Yeah, Wes is in the house, too. He's hanging out in the chat tonight. he couldn't handle the hot seat 2 nights in a row, man. That's too much to ask for anybody, really. But no, he had a great time, and we had a great time with him here. So let's see. Throughout the course of the show, I'm going to be doing the news. Then we're going to be doing an article. Then we're going to be doing, what the hell is that? It's a segment we do here on the shows. It's been a lot of fun to look at some evidence and such. Hey, by the way, did Henry ever answer me? Is that a rebrand or is that a new Henry? I didn't see. Henry, let me know. Rebrand. Okay. Yep, I see it now. Okay, you don't have to answer again, Henry. I scrolled up and found it. Okay, well, welcome back then, brother. Good to have you here. John, Joanne. Yeah, I think everybody I got everybody, I think, at least everybody that's typing. The other thing is, I can't see who's just out there watching. Barbara Mora came in over on Rumble, as did Dog. Good to see you guys. Thank you for being here. That's three of you over there chatting on Rumble. I don't know how many are watching. I can't see the actual number, but great to have all you guys here, whether you're chatting or not. Thank you so much for being a part of the show. So, yeah, then we're going to get to the cryptid corner, and that'll round out the whole show. So I think that'll be it. Well, I mean, if we end up spider webbing off, that's okay. But we got the news coming up in a minute, and leading the news is another report regarding the 31 Atlas and Avi Loeb. So it's I don't know. It's kind of interesting. I haven't read it for its content, but I looked at the headline and found it pretty interesting. So there'll be another update from 31 Atlas stuff going on, and yeah, we'll just have a good time doing whatever the hell it is we're doing. I don't always know, but I'm willing to bring you through the portal. So I guess with that in mind, it's about time for some news. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the news. The news. Here we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Paranormal Portal News Desk. Hello to Larry and Shirley Bell over on Facebook, checking in. Good to see you guys. And who else? I saw someone else. Who else? Who else was it? Damn it, I lost it. Larry and Shirley Bell. Oh, Lenda. Yeah, Lenda. I saw Lenda was here. Sorry, I forget things a lot. But this is the news, and this is where we discuss all the articles that I pulled up for you. I've got 3 articles pulled up for your entertainment, infotainment. Maybe infotainment is a better word, because I hope to inform you. I hope to bring you up to speed on some happenings in the world, or at least to point out either a hilarious article or interesting article or some brand of keeping you enjoying yourself here. But throughout the course of the show, I utilized a lot of different websites, and these are phenomenally well done. And as always, I ask you guys, please visit these sites, not just when we're going through them on the show, but check them out all the time, because they have so much incredible information, and they are so exceptionally well done. So please support these sites, whether it's unexplained-mysteries.com, Thought Catalog, SasquatchChronicles.com, phantomsandmonsters.com, or any other websites. Just pay attention. I will always tell you where these articles are from and who wrote them, and I hope you guys support these sites. But if you do go over to these sites, let them know the Paranormal Portal sent you. And there it is. Let's get to the first article tonight. Got to start somewhere, and we're starting with number 1. This is the one with Avi Loeb talking about something to do with alien visitation. There's not so much a 31 Atlas update specifically, but the man seems to be pretty confident that we are really close to having some form of absolute acknowledgement of being visited by extraterrestrial aliens, or at least whether they're extraterrestrial or not. I guess we'll all find out when that happens. But this article is coming from unexplained-mysteries.com, which is an incredible site. And this is our extraterrestrial files. Avi Loeb accepts skeptics' $1,000 wager over alien visitation by the year 2030. Wow. He's putting it on. Now, I think he already won, though. They've already been here for a while, but maybe it'll be able to be substantiated in more of official capacity by then. I wonder, that's kind of a bold stance to take. I don't know if that's a reputation killer necessarily, but he seems pretty confident that there'll be some kind of acknowledged visitation by the year 2030. Interesting. All right, let's see what it says. The Harvard astronomer is so sure that we will find evidence of aliens that he's decided to stake money on it. Not that a grand is probably going to break his bank, but I guess it's the sentiment of it, right? Loeb, who seems adamant that there is more to the interstellar visitor 31 Atlas than meets the eye, has responded to a bet put forward by Skeptic magazine publisher Dr. Michael Shermer. The precise wording of the wager is that the discovery or disclosure of alien visitation to Earth in the form of UFOs, UAPs, or other technological artifact or alien biological form as confirmed by major scientific institutions and government agencies will not happen by December 31st, 2030. That's a very, very specific outline, but it is very broad too. It's possible that we could find alien techno-signatures that clearly wouldn't be man-made or alien-made. Well, they would be alien-made. What am I saying? That they're not naturally occurring, and that could be substantiated by science, and therefore Avi could be $1,000 richer, I guess, by virtue of that agreement. So it could be just techno-signatures that are picked up that are not able to be quantified by natural occurring phenomena. So that's pretty cool. Whoever wins the $1,000 will donate the money to the Galileo Project Foundation. Either way, the Galileo Project's getting $1,000 richer by 2030. Believers appear in the media boldly predicting that by the end of the year we will have proof of alien contact. 33 years later, I'm still waiting for said proof, said Dr. Shermer. Loeb, meanwhile, maintains that the hunt for alien life is just getting started. The search for technological artifacts has just started in earnest in 2025 with the discovery of the anomalous Interstellar Object 31 Atlas, the launch of the Rubin Observatory, and the construction of 3 Galileo Project observatories, he wrote on his blog. It's better to be optimist because life is sometimes a self-fulfilling prophecy. I agree with him. Which of the two men will win the wager remains to be seen, but it would also be fair to say that Loeb has a bit of an uphill battle if he hopes for alien life to be proven within 5 years. Not only that, but he will have to prove that it has been visiting the Earth as well. No doubt we'll be reporting on the outcome of the wager when time comes. Okay, so he's not only got to prove that there's extra intelligent life out there, but that it's coming here. Okay, well, somebody's making that crap in our skies, and it doesn't seem to be us. So I think he can do it. I think it could happen. But there you go. That's the first article. Well, you may not have ever heard that anywhere else, but you'll hear it here on the news every time I get a hold of an article like that. I can't say I always get articles like that, but that one's a good one. Okay, that's the first one, but don't fret because I got more for you. I got 2 more, as a matter of fact. The next one up comes from Archaeology and History Files of unexplained-mysteries.com. Extraordinary discovery teased at Neolithic site on Orkney. Orkney, okay. I don't know what this means, but let's check it out. We're both going to find out together. That looks like a pretty progressive dig there. Archaeologists have resumed evacuations. It's a little late for that. Excavations at the Ness of Brodgar, I guess, site on the remote northeast Scottish island. The site, which sits on a strip of land between 2 lochs, remains one of the most important archaeological sites in the British Isles and had until recently been the focus of excavations spanning over 20 years. Work at the site officially ended last year, but now Following what has been described as an extraordinary discovery, using 3D radar technology, excavations have resumed once again. Okay. As things stand, however, the team is refusing to reveal exactly what the discovery might be, leading to a great deal of speculation and debate. Ness of Brodgar is home to the remains of some 40 Neolithic structures dating back almost 6,000 years, making it one of the most significant prehistoric settlements on Orkney. Speaking to the BBC News recently, archaeologist Nick Card offered a vague teaser of the find, and he said, "We think this is so unusual that it could add a new chapter to the history of the Ness," he said. It's at a bit of the site where there doesn't seem to be any deep archaeology, so it's not like we're getting into another 20 years of excavations. The archaeology that will be uncovered will be quite different. Don't expect three-dimensional Neolithic buildings, perhaps, or possibly it's not Neolithic. I think probably later, but it could be contemporary. Sadly, we'll have to wait a while longer to learn exactly what it is the team has found. Whatever it happens to be, though, should at least be worth the wait. There's some kind of report here. I guess we could watch this and see what this is. I didn't know this was coming, but the portal's just a gift that keeps giving. Here you go. And this is coming from Kieran Dodd's YouTube channel. It looks like he's got 510 subscribers, and Kieran needs some love, so give him some subscribes, and let's check out what this video is.
We have well over 1,000 examples of Neolithic art here, probably more than the rest of the UK put together. It was a chance discovery in 2003 when the lady who used to live in the house behind us, she was peeling her vegetables in the kitchen sink one day and saw the plough suddenly stopping when this field was last ploughed.
That's got some music on it, so I'm going to kill it there, but I'll put a link into the chat so you guys can check it out for yourself if you're interested in the 8-minute video that they included at the foot of the article. I think it's fantastic. I mean, it's kind of wild that look in your backyard. Oh, there's a Neolithic site buried there. That's pretty cool. That'd be kind of cool. Might affect real estate values, but you just lost half of your yard to research. So your property value is a little less now. All right, let me put this link in the chats so you guys can check it out at your leisure. Hopefully after the show, though. I'd like you to stick around. I don't want to lose you already. I just got you here, so don't leave me. I'm needy. What the hell did I just do? What did I do? What the hell's Rumble Glow? I didn't mean to do that, whatever that is. I hit the wrong... Oh, I guess I just did an emoji. Oops. I meant to send this link over in Rumble. There you go. There we go. So it's in the chats if you guys want to check it out. That's fantastic. Hi, Daryl Stanley. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Good to see you always. But that's the second article, ladies and gentlemen. But there's more. I'm not done yet. You got it. There's still more here. This is from Space and Astronomy. It's not too long. This is perfect. All right. It's a short little article, but it has to do with Mars. And you may not know this, but there is somewhat of an atmosphere on Mars. It's, I guess, not real robust, but there's a little bit of atmosphere. And along with that atmosphere comes a new surprising discovery, and that is lightning. Scientists detect lightning in the atmosphere of Mars for the first time. Lightning. I wouldn't have thought that, but that's pretty cool. There's detected lightning on Mars, and they show us rocks. Why not show us clouds or something? Anyway, let's see what it says. New evidence suggests that the red planet is capable of producing lightning, something never seen there before. It appears as though Mars may have just been added to an exclusive group of planets, including Jupiter, Saturn, and the Earth, that are capable of producing atmospheric lightning. The discovery comes courtesy of NASA's Perseverance rover, which was able to capture audio and electromagnetic recordings of lightning-like electrical discharges using its SuperCam instrument. So they got video of it? Is that what that means? It's a SuperCam. What could that mean? Oh, camera? Wow. That's probably how they justify the budget. No, it's not. It's not a camera. It's a SuperCam. Anyway, these discharges represent a major discovery with direct implications for Martian atmospheric chemistry, climate, habitability, and the future of robotic and human exploration, study lead author Dr. Baptiste Scheid told Reuters. The researchers who analyzed 28 hours of microphone recordings found that the electrical activity was associated with dust storms on Mars. Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, there's got to be plenty of charge picked up by that dust moving around. The discovery has prompted calls for a dedicated probe to be sent to Mars, with instrumentation designed specifically to further analyze and confirm the presence of the lightning. This is especially important as so far as at least the phenomena has only been heard, not observed. Oh, so I guess it was on the audio of the supercam, not the video. One thing's for sure, if a future mission does actually manage to capture a photograph of lightning on Mars, it'll be one for the record books. Sure. Cool. All right, there you go. There's lightning on Mars, folks. They heard it. It must be true. And I don't see why not. I don't know. I wonder if it would be qualified as lightning or if it's potentially more of a static discharge from huge dust storms. I mean, that seems much more likely. And I don't know what the difference necessarily would be. If it's a huge electrical charge, does that count as lightning? Well, I suppose, but I think the characteristics of it would be a bit different. But we'll see. We'll see how that unfolds, because I don't know. I mean, I guess it could be, but don't you need like opposite charges in the atmosphere versus the ground in order to actually produce lightning? And that's what gets whipped up during storms with ice crystals and stuff, and creating this positive and negative charges that boom hit the ground. I don't know. We'll see. But it'll be interesting to see how that all unfolds. And I'll keep an eye on that for you, folks, being your news desk here on the portal. I aim to please. But I will tell you that is going to wrap up the news for tonight. So I hope you guys found a good time with it, enjoyed the presentation, and maybe learned something new. Let's get back to the rest of the show. I'm just checking out you guys' chatting. You guys are just having a discussion. Very cool. Talking about lightning and stuff. Yeah. What was it? Ground is at one end of the circuit. You're right. Batman, you are. That would be the ground is usually the ground. The ground is the ground. Could be anyway. Good to see you, Jaron. Thanks for stopping in, brother. Good to see you. Too bad you weren't here last night. We were talking about twins and identical twins and some psychic linking going on. That was last night's show when Wes was here. You weren't here, though, were you? 10 demerits. That's all I got to say. Shane Grove, good to see you, brother. Glad to have you here. There won't be any more science questions that I know of. And there's no quiz. You're not being graded on your presence here, so don't worry. Because you'd get an A every time in my book, Shane. All right. I wanted to get there. I missed it. Well, you can bring your permission slip next time. That's fine. Excused absence or not, we'll figure it out. All right. Let's see what the hell's going on now. We're going to get to an article I've got pulled up. Hi, Laura Pruitt over on Facebook. Hello to you. Phil Jones is in the house too. Good to see you as well. And 420 Man from the West is here. And Mike Prine. Hello over on Facebook as well. Good to see you guys. Thank you for being here and being a part of the journey. I haven't seen anybody over on X yet, but I assume it's working. Hopefully it's working. That's actually one of the ways that I know if something's working is if the chat comes through from there. It's like, well, must be live, because I can't open 5 different streams and then stream on top of it. I'd be killing my computer. I got a good computer and all, but, you know, I already have a ocean of tabs open and, you know, 3 different browsers. So you can see where that could get to be a problem. John Temperin, good to see ya. Got the Johns all represented. John Stevenson, John Temperin, all here. Jason Finch popped in. Android Paranormal, good to have you here, brother. Good to be seeing you lately. I'm glad you found your way back to the portal. I was starting to thinking maybe we had to put some chalk markers all over the internet for you to find your way back, but I'm glad you made it. Hey, Brent, when are you going to get a chance to check out my website? You're going to love it. I don't even know when I'm going to have a chance to update my own website, but I appreciate that, Laura. I will try to look at it. Did you send me a link already? If you didn't send me some? She sent me some links. Maybe you've sent me links before, because the ghost box is saying some, so that's more than one. So I'm sorry if you sent it to me and I haven't seen it. I thought I did, but I'll double check it to make sure. But thank you. I appreciate the invite. I will do it. I'm building my own podcast studio actually from scratch. Well, good luck to you. I hope that works out. That's fantastic. Yeah, I mean, there's a little bit of know-how that helps, but yeah, you can do it with, as Wes told me when I was starting out, he's like, when I started out, I think he said when I started out, I had like a $20 microphone that he got from the Goodwill or something like that. And that's what he started Sasquatch Chronicles. So a webcam and the Goodwill mic, and he just went with it. And we all know how that turned out very well. So, I mean, I think it's probably some of the greatest advice Wes ever gave me. It's like, it doesn't really matter how many bells and whistles you put on the shows. What matters is the quality of the show, the information. So, pour your heart out and make it a good show. And people will excuse maybe lower quality if the show is good. So that was great advice. That's really helped me. Yep. Jaron says, yeah, just start. Oh, okay. See, Laura says she's been doing this since her first computer back in '89. Okay, well, I guess you got it nailed then. Yeah, keep us updated, or keep me updated. Yeah. All right, let's get to the article that I have pulled up for you guys. We're going to get to that now as soon as I get organized. Oh, I actually had it open. Then I actually didn't open it. There we go. I got a new article pulled up for you guys, and this one looks like a good one. We've done articles along this line several times, and I think any reports from healthcare facilities about paranormal activities makes sense to me. Again, I don't think it's any secret in paranormal enthusiast world that hospitals are considered an incredible hotspot for paranormal activity, and it makes sense, especially if you subscribe to the idea that things, our energies imprint on places and can possibly create amazing habitats for spirits to wander in, or spirits of people that have had tragedies happen at hospitals. So it seems like a perfect storm in a lot of ways for a haunting. And so it doesn't surprise me at all that a lot of healthcare staff have experienced some pretty crazy stuff. And that's kind of the vein of the article that I pulled up for you guys tonight. This one is from Thought Catalog, and I'm going to pull it up on screen now. This is thoughtcatalog.com, ladies and gentlemen. The real reason so many nurses are open-minded about ghosts and the paranormal. And this is written by Chrissy Stockton, and it was written in 2021. Few years old, but this stuff is always excellent. You can have stories of the paranormal from 100 years ago, and they're still just as good today. The language is sometimes hard to read when they're really old, but yeah. Hey, Justin Good Earth, good to see you. Glad you made it, brother. Glad you made it. So we're going to get into this tonight, and hopefully you'll all enjoy it. I truly, personally love these stories, unless this isn't really a story. Well, that was it? Really? I thought it was just like okay. Maybe we'll just read it. Maybe we'll read what she had to say. I thought it was a list. Oops. I got another one pulled up that we're going to get into next, but it says okay, so what did she say? The first part of the answer is obvious. It's because nurses deal with death on a daily basis. Sure. Well, hello there. Cue the ghost visitation. Sure, why not? It makes sense that places where many people will die will also be places we consider the most haunted. Hospitals have long been considered some of the most haunted of buildings. Here's a list of hospitals that regularly top lists of most haunted locations just in the U.S. So we got a list here, and for any of you paranormal investigators out there looking for a place to try to investigate, get your notepad out. Jesse Lee Home for Children in Alaska. Wow. Okay. I guess that must be a pretty active place. I haven't ever heard of that, so that would be interesting to find out more information. Camp Bolton in California. That does sound kind of familiar. I don't know anything about it other than that name seems kind of familiar. Then we got the Norwich State Hospital in Connecticut. Makes sense. The Manteno State Hospital in Illinois. Why the S? Why the S? We don't even use it. All right. Peoria State Hospital in Illinois as well. Independence State Hospital in Iowa. Got the Midwest is really represented here. The Eloise Psychiatric Hospital in Michigan. Yeah, psychiatric hospitals, I think, are even more so energetically charged because maybe not more so, but you think about psychiatric hospitals. These are people that they're in a state of confusion usually, or just they're not in this in a I hate this term, but in a quote unquote normal state of mind. A lot of them are dealing with hallucinations, delusions, chemical imbalances, and so they're just firing on a whole different level mentally. I guess probably just trying to cope. Some of them are medicated into just a stupor, and I've witnessed this firsthand. As many of you know, I used to work in corrections, and we had some people that were suffering from some pretty significant psychological disorders, and the buckets of meds they would get, and the tragedy of that, because these people could be, I worked juveniles, just for the record. So, I mean, I didn't work with the adults as much, but these kids were, when they weren't overly medicated, they were great. They were wonderful. And then they would just get these buckets of meds and they would take them. And these kids would just be in the corner, like kind of drooling. A kid that otherwise would be just, vibrant, obviously having issues, but still have a personality. But to be reduced to just kind of just sitting in a corner drooling. And I've seen this firsthand. And actually, we as staff members kind of petitioned the healthcare part of the facility to mitigate that. And they did. And the guy turned out, I mean, he was really a wonderful, smart, it was like night and day. It was like seeing a zombie versus obviously behaviorally challenged young man, but still he was like a vibrant personality. So I suppose that those kind of over medications like that could leave some kind of imprint, because where does all that mental energy go? Maybe it seeps into the building around them. I don't know. Essex County Hospital Center in New Jersey, St. Anne's Guest Home in North Dakota, Pennsylvania Hospital in Pennsylvania, and the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum in West Virginia. Yeah, that's obviously a big one. The Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum is widely considered one of the most haunted sites in America. It's been featured on Ghost Stories, Ghost Hunters, Ghost Adventures, Paranormal Lockdown, Portals to Hell, and Destination Fear. It was a regular working hospital. They changed the name from Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum to Weston State Hospital. Yeah, that's a better brand for sure. I don't think they sold a lot of sweatshirts when it was Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum, but they probably picked up sales in the gift shop when it was changed to the Weston State Hospital. When they began taking non-psychiatric patients until 1994. Most of the hospitals on this list are still servicing clients. Wow. And these are just the hospitals that are considered the most haunted. I've never even heard of a hospital that didn't have any ghost stories. Yeah, that's true. I got to give her props on that, because, again, a hospital is a location that's seen the greatest of joys, the deepest of sorrows, anguish, the rage, the hate, all of these huge energetic imprints of emotion and psychic imprints, maybe, if you can get there, in your thinking. And so if it isn't human spirits that are haunting the place, well, then it might be non-human spirits that have migrated to the place just because of that huge energetic imprint. And yeah, I mean, it's kind of the perfect storm. So not everybody that works in the hospital has to develop relationships with their patients in order to correctly do their job. Nurses do this, and as a result, they develop empathy for patients. If anyone in the hospital is going to be sensitive to a sign from the afterlife, it's the nurses. Good point. I mean, she's really dead on with this article. Nurses will remember the little details about a patient's deceased relative or their little habits or malapropisms. I don't even know what the hell that means. What's a malapropism? Malapropism. I got to look this up now. I'm curious. That's a brand new word. I was today old when I heard that word. So I got to right click, paste, and do definition. Oh, it came up automatically. It is the mistaken use of a word in place of a similar sounding one. That doesn't really make sense. Often with unintentional amusing effect, as in, oh, that's a malaprop. What's a malapropism? Okay, include, I don't know what the hell it means. It's not being real. What's the difference between a spoonerism and a malapropism? Okay, well, this could take a while. If anybody knows the quicker definition for what the hell malapropism is, let me know. I don't know. I was literally today old when I saw that. That's not an exaggeration. I've never seen that word before today. And if I did, I just glossed over it and misread it. Can even be recognized as hello from beyond the grave or just stuck energy repeating itself in a process we don't yet understand. Unlike doctors and other medical professionals who have less contact with patients, part of a nurse's job is literally to care about their patients. They pay attention. Nurses notice things. I agree. Let's see. They're skilled. Yeah, I guess, does this ring true for you? It's not really getting to any specific examples other than, a quick list of places that are pretty haunted. But she's right about the healthcare staff. Certainly nurses are direct contact, and they will have patients, and they'll be interacting with those patients daily, weekly, for whatever care period they have. Inappropriate speech. Okay, thank you, Batman. Appreciate that. Yeah, this is Supernatural Station says a brand new word for them. Hi. Who's Brother Brett? Is there a Brett in here? Oh, Brett Martinez, welcome. Just found your channel, is listening to a Mexican podcast about the paranormal. Algorithm, I guess. Well, God bless you. Buenos dias, amigo. Yeah. Glad to have you here. Okay. Let's get to the other article I pulled up. This one has to do with other stuff. That was like the worst setup for an article ever that I just did. This one is 13 of the most famous ghosts from around the world. And this is from Ranker.com, and Ranker is a really cool site. If you're not familiar with Ranker, they've got a lot of fantastic lists, basically about anything you're interested in, and they'll go through these lists and give their ratings on it. They're pretty fun to read, so check out Ranker for sure. All right, let's see. The first one is the Black Monk of Pontefract in England. I think Paranormal Lockdown with Nick Groff and Katarina Weidman did an episode in this house, and it's not a big place, but they seem to have some pretty profound activity there. And I guess it's got a real dark haunting to it. Like there's a real dark spirit that's supposed to inhabit that. And yeah, it says in 1966, Jean and Joe Pritchard moved into 30 East Drive in Pontefract, West Yorkshire, with their two children, Philip, who was 15, and Diane, who was 12. Upon moving into the home, the family began experiencing poltergeist-like activity. It seemed to focus its energy on Philip. The poltergeist activity included objects flying through the air, green foam coming from the faucets. That's definitely what you don't want from your faucets. and pictures on the wall being cut with a knife. The entity eventually became violent with Diane, throwing her to the floor, leaving marks on her neck, and even dragging her up the stairs in front of the whole family. Oh, dear God, that's moving time for sure. I mean, if you ever need incentive to move, getting dragged up the stairs by some unseen energy, that's moving time. The activity at 30 East Drive eventually caught the attention of the newspapers, which referred to the spirit as Mr. Nobody. Although the Pritchards usually called the poltergeist Fred, attempts at an exorcism were unsuccessful, and Fred would slap those who were trying to pray. Wow. Fred was not taking no jokes on that deal. Research indicates that the site of 30 East Drive was where a monk was hanged in the 16th century, which is thought to explain the poltergeist activity, and what led to the entity becoming known as the Black Monk of Pontefract. A photo taken by a ghost hunter in 2016 showed a face shrouded in a black hood in a mirror facing the staircase where Diane Pritchard had been dragged nearly 50 years earlier. The story was covered in the 1981 book Poltergeist, a study in destructive haunting by Colin Wilson, and in 2012, the horror film When the Lights Went Out, the film's producer subsequently purchased the Pritchards' old home and now rents it out to amateur ghost hunters. Although Ouija boards are not allowed inside. Good thing, too. I don't know if it continues to have that level of activity, but knowing that it was that active at one point, that's profound. I can't even imagine, what does it take to drag someone up the stairs, and then you're doing it as a disembodied energy. That is really creepy. Sorry, I'm getting a little froggy. My apologies. Been talking more today than normal. So there you go. That was the first one. I'm going to try to pronounce this. Kuchisaki Onna in Japan. Very wild. I know that's it's very, very unusual to me, but it's a very true thing that sometimes spirits take the form that is expected of them. Different regions have their own, interpretations of spiritual problems. And like in Japan, everybody's seen the Samara character from The Ring. The woman in some kind of white nightdress, the hair drooping down, and that is very common in Japanese hauntings or in Asiatic hauntings. But we don't see a lot of that here in the West, in the States. I don't think there's a lot of claims of that in Europe either. But it definitely is a manifestation that's pretty common, or at least is commonly understood in Asia. So let's see what this says. The legend of Kuchisaki Onna dates back to anywhere from the 17th to the 19th centuries. During Japan's Edo period, Kuchisaki Onna is thought to have been a beautiful woman who was mutilated by having her face sliced open from ear to ear. I've seen this. This was kind of dramatized on a television show, and I can't remember what it was called, but I remember seeing clips for it on YouTube. Do you think I'm beautiful? If you say yes, I guess she'll slice you, and if you say no, she'll kill you. I don't know. I don't remember how it goes. Some version of the story say a jealous lover disfigured her, while others claim the culprit was another woman envious of Kuchisaki Onna's beauty. Considered an onryo, or vengeful spirit. Onryo. Okay. Kuchisaki Onna will appear to people hiding her disfigured face behind a fan, or in modern times, a surgical mask, and she'll ask the individual if she is beautiful. If they say yes, she'll uncover her face and ask if the individual still thinks she's pretty. If the person says no or tries to run away, she will unalive them. If they say yes, she will use scissors or a knife to cut up their face to match hers. Dear God. The legends alternatively claims Kuchisaki Onna will follow the person home and unalive them. The story of Kuchisaki Onna gripped Japan Again in 1979, when sightings of her were reported in the newspaper, the public took the story so seriously, adults would walk children home from school in large groups to prevent Kuchisake Onna from taking them. If confronted by Kuchisake Onna, it's advised that an individual can escape by telling her she looks average or throwing either money or hard candy at her to confuse her. So money will throw money at anybody and they can usually get away from them. I think that works pretty much universally, not just for Kuchisake Onna, but that's wild. It was funny. I didn't know that was based on an actual legend when I saw it on the television show, and it was just a clip on YouTube, I think, but I don't remember what show it was. Did anybody say? I don't know. Okay, well, I don't know. I'm way behind in the chat. My chat wasn't scrolling. Sensei Brent, arigato gozaimashita. Yeah, no problem, brother. Arigato gozaimasu. You are beautiful, but not evil. What? Brent, you are beautiful, but not evil. Thanks, Phil. You want to throw cash at me now? Just saying you could. If you want. That's like she's for the streets, disrespect. Jordan. Yeah, maybe. Hi, Jordan. Good to see you. Hello, Tina. Good to have you here. Throw some butterscotch at it. That just pisses spirits off, I think. It pisses me off. Butterscotch is not my favorite at all. You can trick her, though, Rachel says. Okay, gotcha. So many of you guys seems like you've at least heard of this. That's great. I saw the dramatization of it, but I didn't realize that was based on an actual legend. I guess I should have known, especially with such, profound idiosyncrasies involved with it, that it must have based on something. But anyway, the Brown Lady of Raymond Hall, and this is one of the most famous ghost photos of all. I think it's from the 1800s or early 1900s. Can't remember, but in Norfolk, England, sits an 18th century manor house where some say a ghost was caught on film. The Brown Lady of Raynham Hall has haunted the manor since at least 1835, when she was first sighted. Many believe she's Dorothy Walpole, wife of Charles Townshend. Why didn't she take his name? Whose family owned Raynham Hall. Dorothy and Charles married in 1713, but in 1725, Charles allegedly locked Dorothy in the hall and claimed she died following rumors that she was having an affair. Dorothy walked the corridors until she passed away from smallpox a year later. Then, during the Christmas party in 1835, 2 guests first spotted the Brown Lady. The guests said that she was fully formed, but her eye sockets were empty. A year later, another guest shot at the Brown Lady, but the bullet went straight through her and lodged in a door. In 1926, a member of the Townshend family finally identified the Brown Lady as Dorothy Walpole based on his experience seeing the ghost, as well as a portrait of Dorothy that hung in Raynham Hall. The famous photograph of the Brown Lady was taken in September 1936. There it is. That's when this photo was taken. During a photo shoot for the magazine Country Life, the photographer's assistant actually saw the apparition, and the photographer managed to capture the image. Paranormal investigators such as Harry Price examined the negative and didn't believe it had been tampered with. But skeptics claim the photo is merely a double exposure. Of course they do, because they're skeptics. They have to think of some reason that happened. So, double exposure, why not? I don't know. I think it's a great capture. It's a very cool apparition. It's not obviously fully formed, but it is semi-transparent. I mean, you can see through it clearly, but it looks legit to me. I don't know. All right. La Llorona. That's how you pronounce it. It's not La Rona or Lorna, or I've heard many different pronunciations, but I asked my friend who is Hispanic, and she says it's La Llorona. No one knows for certain when the legend of La Llorona originated, but many believe the story originated with the Aztecs. In the 1500s, a new version of the story emerged in which La Llorona had a child with a Spanish conquistador. According to the legend, when the conquistador left La Llorona for another woman, she drowned her child in the river. Ooh, that's brutal. The story has changed over the years, but typically involves La Llorona drowning her child or children, and sometimes drowning herself. In some versions, La Llorona simply finds her children drowned, and her ghost can be heard wailing in despair. Even darker version of the La Llorona legend says she steals living children to take the place of her children who passed. Numerous sightings of La Llorona have been reported over the centuries. One of the more famous stories is about a boy in the 1930s named Patricio Lujan, who reportedly saw a woman in white wailing by a river in New Mexico. Regardless of which version of the story persists, La Llorona is considered an omen of misfortune or death. Yeah, so just hope you don't see it. But I don't know how you know. It's not like they wear name tags. You see, there's about hundreds of legends of a wailing woman by a body of water. Hell, every old bridge has a story of the woman who couldn't care for her child and tossed the baby into the water, and now can be found wailing by the bridge. So how do you know if you're seeing La Llorona or the others? I don't know. I mean, I think maybe you scare yourself to death thinking of things like that. Maybe. All right, the next one is the White Woman of Belchen Tunnel in Switzerland. Built in the 1960s, the Belchen Tunnel is a 10,430-foot long tunnel in Switzerland that connects Eptingen to Basel County, and Hagendorf in Solothurn. Man, those are cool names. The haunting there is one of the more modern ones on the list, being first reported in a newspaper in January 1981. The newspaper article claimed that an elderly woman wearing white would appear on the shoulder of the highway and flag down drivers for a ride. Drivers would pick up the woman only for her to vanish in their car as they drove through the tunnel. There's a bunch of those too. Hitchhikers, the site of the prom date that the car crashed and she's trying to get a lift home, and she'll give directions for people to go to a cemetery and then disappear, or to her old home where she'll disappear. There's a ton of those out there too. Sightings of the white woman in Belchen Tunnel continued through the 80s, including one story of two female law students who reportedly picked her up in 1983. The white woman apparently said something terrible was going to happen before disappearing from the backseat of the car about halfway through the tunnel. These stories have led to Belchen Tunnel being known as one of the most haunted roads in the world. Well, okay. There's a ton of haunted roads. I don't know why that one is more haunted than others, but anyway, the ones that I think are the most haunted are the ones where the ghost lights will suddenly be behind you, and it's all twisty and turny and dangerous roads, and they're revving up and like they're going to ram you and causing people to crash. So I think that's a worse haunting than the white woman hitching a ride through half the tunnel. Anyway, let's go to the next one, the ghost of Ballygally in Ireland. Look at how close. Oh, you can't really see it. This, I got to move this over for a sec. Look at how close that house is to the road. It's like, are you kidding? You have cars ramming that all the time in the States. All right, let's see what this says. The ghost of Ballygally in Ireland. Ballygally. I don't know. That's an interesting name. Castle Hotel sits on the eastern coast of Northern Ireland, constructed in 1625 by John Shaw of Greenock. The castle survived multiple sieges during the 1641 uprising, thanks to its 5-foot thick walls. The castle stayed in the Shaw family for centuries before changing hands several times and eventually becoming a hotel. Locals believe the Ballygally's resident ghost is nearly as old as the castle itself. According to lore, Lady Isobel Shaw gave birth to a daughter, much to the dismay of her husband, Lord James Shaw, who wanted a son. Yeah, it was obviously her fault. Lord James allegedly had Lady Isabel locked in a tower where she was driven mad by the sounds of her crying daughter. Lady Isabel either jumped from the tower to her unaliving or was pushed through the tower window by Lord James himself. Since then, residents and guests have reported seeing Lady Isabel's restless spirit. One family even reported that upon entering the tower, their baby began crying and screaming uncontrollably, as if terrified by an unseen entity. In addition to Lady Isabel's ghost, the rustling skirts of a 19th century woman named Madame Nixon can be heard in the stairwells of the castle. Others have reported a green mist that seems to hang over Ballygelly Castle for no apparent reason. Well, yeah, you push your wife out of a tower window and I guess you get green mist. Congratulations. Creepy stuff. Absolutely creepy. But, if that's how you want a haunting, that's how you get one. There you go. I think I'm going to stop here, though. These are all interesting and stuff, but it's not the most compelling. Not the most compelling reading, so let's go on to something else. What else could we do? Well, I got an idea. And it's going to look... Let me just make sure we're doing okay here. I feel she was pushed. Maybe she was. Yeah. I don't know how that works, but either way, the result is terrible. All right, we're going to get to this next part of the show, one that I think most of you are familiar with. If you've been around for any length of time, you might know about it, but it's called...
The hell is that?
I get a kick out of that Arnie voice coming in. I think that was from Predator. I don't know. I think that's what that line is from. The hell is that? The green mist, green faucet foam. Yeah. Just it's like a bunch of leprechauns on crack, I guess. I don't know. All right, let's get to the what the hell is that? It's that time. And if you're not familiar with this segment, this is when I'll show you guys some pictures or video clips of different things. I got one off the bat. Kind of curious. What the hell happened to it? Where'd it go? There. No, that's not it. That's not it at all. It just disappeared on me. Let me see if I can reopen it. No, it was a good image that I wanted you guys to see. Now I got to get it. Where was it? There? Is this it? No. Oh, you bastard. All right, let's see if it was the next one. History. Damn. That was a good one, too. It was an obvious hoax. I'll tell you that, but it was kind of hilarious. And it was showing a do I even have this right? Yeah. It was showing like a several lane highway where people were getting out of their cars and there was this wall of lava coming, but everybody's like walking like into the, in between the cars and stuff. Like traffic was stopped somewhere. They took a shot and then some idiot transposed and layered in a wall of lava coming as if something just erupted. It was just so stupid, but I can't find it. It just disappeared. Did it just disappear or did I just screw something up? I don't know. I'm trying to save it here, folks. I wish I could get it back. Is this it? No, why am I getting I'm getting my Thanksgiving message popping up. I didn't want that. Never mind, it's nothing I can do. I can't get it back. It's just gone. Damn, that was a good one too. But it was just obvious hoaxery. I was just curious what you guys would say. It wasn't really that solid for what the hell is that, but it's a good reminder that there's a lot of bad stuff out there. A lot of bad attempts. What the hell was this one? I don't even know for sure. Thank you for popping up every freaking conversation I've had for the last week. Oh, this one. Here's another one. This one's kind of good. I'm kind of curious what you guys think of this one. This is a video clip. It's coming from the Adley Show page and ADLEY on Facebook. And it's depicting a farmer who's mending a fence. And I want to see what you guys think of this. I'm curious, how are you going to vote on this one? Watch what's happening very carefully. That's all I'm going to tell you. I really think that I know what's happening in this one, but I'm kind of curious if you guys will see and identify that as well. So let me see if it's framed up right. Here we go. The first one tonight. Here it is. And again, this is coming from the Adley show. I don't believe there's sound. There might be sound. But here's a guy fixing a fence. Here's a mountain lion just came around the corner. Watch what's happening. That's all I'm going to say. Watch what's happening. All right, there it comes. He's not aware of it. He's fixing the fence. And then, oh, my God, there's a goat. That's the whole video. I want to see what you guys think, though. Keep watching. Watch it again. Now you got to look at the details. And where was the big tail? I'm looking for where the big tail was. For me. What do you think? Is this an actual video of the guy barely avoiding certain death? It says, goat saves farmer from charging mountain lion and jaw-dropping barnyard rescue caught on security camera. It's apparently from Bozeman, Montana. November 24th, 2025. Routine fence repair nearly turned fatal when a mountain lion crept up behind a kneeling farmer, only for a brave goat to sprint in and body slam the predator before it could pounce. The unbelievable moment was captured on a barn security camera and has quickly been hailed as one of the most astonishing farm rescues ever recorded. There's a lot of narrative here. Let's watch it again. Okay, where was the big tail, though? I'm still looking because it... No. Anyway, what do you guys think? Is this real? The fence? Yeah, the fence was the big thing for me. The AI goat moved weirdly. Yeah. There's one other thing, too, that I saw, and I got to watch the mountain lion. Watch its reactions. See what you think. Well, maybe that wasn't as clear as I thought. But I thought its paw or something did something. Maybe not. Maybe it's actually a better fake than I thought, but I thought can't be real. There was something about the fence when he fell down too, and I'm trying to look and see what it was, but I see that the boards do shift, but I don't know. It's like he's got no resistance, and this is all mounted up, and he falls, and they only seem to bend a little bit, but this is probably a 3-foot fence. You'd think there'd be more of a resistance there, but it looks like it's like a 12-inch kind of fence. And then if that's the case, why is he bothering? I don't know. I'm curious. What do you guys think? Give me a vote. 0.5 goats are crazy. Yeah, they are crazy, actually. Wrong reaction, Bo. Playing dead is the worst thing you can do with a mountain lion. That's probably true. I don't imagine that's good at all. But Yeshua says, nope. He was in shock, Brent. Yeah, for sure. I mean, I'd be in shock, too. Don't get me wrong. If you look up and there's a mountain lion about to eat you. His reaction was delayed. Yeah, that's another good point. It was just like there was really no real. Yeah, he like looks up at first and sees it, and then you're right. He kind of falls down. Zero, we should have seen the mountain lion before then. You'd think, unless he's got a dog that looks a lot like that. Fake. 0, the lion would have gone after the farm animal, not the large human. You're probably right about that too. You are supposed to act bigger. Yeah. I don't think any of you guys are buying this one. What do you guys think over in Rumble? Why aim a security cam on that spot? That's another great take. Yeah. What is it? Why is this a security camera? Why is it aiming just like this? Does that even make sense? That it would be aimed at this because there's no road. What's he going to do? Watch his fence? That's about all you can see. So that doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, it does look like it could be camera footage, but the other thing is that security cameras don't frame it like this. This is TikTok, cell phone framing. Unless it was captured on his phone, maybe that's possible. Like the feed was formatted for his phone, but my cameras don't do that. My cameras are landscaped, and I have to turn my phone to make it fill the frame. So I don't know that everything would be so uniform in the frame on a portrait framing. That doesn't make sense to me. This should be cut off, and most of this should be cut off, and there would be a lot less in the frame. But again, watch it again. So those are some great things you guys are noticing. AI, says Jordan. Yeah, man from the West thinks it's fake. Yeah, I don't think anybody's. To me, it looks like the camera footage has been cut. Yeah, it's certainly been cut because I mean they run off a frame, and then it comes in again. But I don't know. I think there's a lot of reasons why this doesn't seem legitimate. We could find out that it is, but there's his reaction seems really, I don't know, kind of like, why does he fall down at all? He stands straight up at first, and then he kind of like does a dive as if he's a pro wrestler. I don't know. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. It's like he looks up right here and then sees it and then stands up and decides to fall. Like, dude, Gilligan. You know, it's like Skipper from Gilligan's Island or something. I don't know what the hell he's doing. But I think it's a fake. I think you guys all agree. And that's a great start for our thing. Looks like you're fixing a BS fence in action. Yeah. Yeah, it's like a bad Gilligan Island skit. There you go. I don't know. But I thought, well, you guys can help me drill into that one. Nice job, everybody. I think you've seen it for what it is. It's all like Dog Digger says. We narrowed it down. Yep. We narrowed it down. There it is. Okay, that's the first one. I got more. So we'll get into that next. I wonder if I got stuff for the Cryptid Corner. I don't know. I don't know what I got for the Cryptid Corner tonight. I don't remember. All right, this one. This one is a photo. I think it might be legit. But you be the judge. It's kind of creepy. It's kind of creepy, actually. Oh, actually, I got a bunch of them in this feed here. Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, so we got several of them to go through in this group of photos that I pulled up for the show. All right, let me frame this down a little bit. The first one's coming from Ghosts of London. This is a Facebook group. They do have a lot of these things posted, so definitely check them out on Facebook. You can follow them and get involved. And again, none of these are criticisms for the channel owners. I think it's cool they're putting this stuff up. They're not really voting on it in a large way. They're just repositories for things to be posted. And that's fine in and of itself. Now, if they were saying this is absolutely real, like the last one kind of seemed to suggest that was an actual video, I don't believe it was. And I don't really like that they're posting misleading stuff. I don't like that a bunch, but I do like the fact that it was out there and I was able to find it. So I can't really critique the channel owners because, people have to learn how to look at this stuff and be objective. Look for the tells. Look for the things that stick out, that don't make sense. The narrative, the way the action unfolds, the movement of the characters in the clip. There's so many things that are still not able to be correctly AI'd real well. And, just watch for those things. Because as far as details, that video was flawless as far as a mountain lion, a man, and the goat. The setting looked legitimate. But it was the way that the events unfolded that really made it like, what the hell's going on here? This doesn't look right. So keep evaluating this stuff. Here's the next one, and this is Ghosts of London. As I said, the background on this one is the photo was taken by Stacy Alexander over 20 years ago, showing her son standing inside a playpen. She was home alone with him at the time and often felt as though someone was watching her whenever she was by herself. So, do you see it? It's the proverbial elephant in the room. It's the reflection in the TV in back. And I don't know if that TV is on, but you can see the reflection of her flash in the TV, but then you see this head. This head's just kind of there without a source. Again, it's not her head because she's way back in the back. She would be like a micro figure in this. To have a reflection this big, the face would literally have to be right in front of the TV screen. It would have to be almost life size, that close to the source. So, what do you guys think of this? And again, I'm not saying you should believe it's real or shouldn't, but do you think that this is potentially a capture of some paranormal experience? Let me know in the votes. The ghost kid. Not the ghost kid, the ghost, maybe grandma? I don't know. Could be a grandmotherly figure. So let me know what you think. That kid is fake. Phil. I don't know if the kid is fake. I think I think it might be a legit photo. Looks like he's got some Bob the Builder gear on. He's all decked out. Maybe the date is fake. I don't know. It's 20 years ago, she says, or they say. All right, so one Wonder Woman thinks maybe. Yep, she's willing to entertain it. Nothing worse than photobomb and trolling poltergeist. Pareidolia? I don't think so. I think that's pretty legitimately a face that's being displayed. The question is it legit or is it just some form of hoax? Let's see. 0, not at all. Karen Alberting's not buying this one. Rachel's about halfway there. Jaren's saying about half. Picture painting across the room. If it was across the room, it wouldn't be this big. And you would probably see the fencing in there more instead of this face being at that level. Because if this was straight across, this top rail would be going somewhere around her nose and eye line, probably. I'm thinking maybe it would go even a little higher than that. But 0 from John Stevenson, halfway for Elaine. Cop-out style, maybe. 0.5 from Josh. Hooking Good Creation by Tina says nope. BJ Lapierre, nope. Looks like another child standing in front of the TV screen. But where's... Oh, you mean that this is actually a child? I guess, I don't know. It's... Looks like it doesn't even have eyeballs, like it's dark. It's hard to see. Let me blow it up for you guys. Maybe this'll help a little bit. Doesn't look like a child's face when you blow it up, though. It does look like an older woman's face. Not that it couldn't be a child, but that does look like it's about at the TV level there. There's the flash reflecting, and she's obviously interrupting that flash, but she's not being really illuminated by the flash like the kid is. And this is probably within the, like flashes on most camera are only good for about 20 feet. But I think she's probably within the 20 feet range to the TV. So this face, if it's caught the flash, should be much more illuminated than that, I would think. I think this one might be legit, is where I'm voting on it, I guess. And not that you should agree with me. I love that you guys have different ideas. What are the numbers for? What numbers? Oh, sorry. Jeez. What are the numbers? What is this? Somebody's saying there's maybe an apparition over here, but I think that's just a light leak or something. I don't know. It's hard to see. What a bad mom to keep her son in a dog pen. Looks like he can walk. Why keep him behind the fence? Annie Manola's not buying it. John Temperin, halfway. Phil Funk, half. John Yeshua, nope. 0 from Joanne. Caitlin, about half. Android, nope. Linda's about 0.05. That's less than 0.1%. Or that's less than 10%, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, it's a little more than, it's 5%, I guess. 5% she's willing to entertain it. I'm on the fence, not sure. I like what you did there. 0.5. Benno, great minds. What did Benno say? Call the authorities and imprison the kid against their will. That's funny. Kedstar's halfway there. 1, we think it's true. 0.5, maybe it's real. 0 fake. Yeah, it's a Dove commercial. LOL. A Dove. Oh, the soap? Maybe. Halfway for Benno. Yeah. David Barnes, halfway there. How you doing, David? Good to see you, brother. Halfway for Brett Martinez. And I think that's it. What do we got over in Rumble? We got Barbara Mora, halfway there. Justin Goodearth, halfway there. Car Juice, halfway there. Okay, fair enough. Dog Digger's about 0.75, so that looks good. Okay, there you go. I think it could be legit. I don't know. But we're going to go right to the next one here, and this one is this one. Now, this one's actually a series of pictures. Again, from Ghosts of London. There's a couple guys posing in front of this old historical tavern site. And we've got to pay attention to the windows, I guess. God, that looks like a huge face. But I don't think that that's what they're pointing out. But let's see. When we do this, here it is. So it's this image right here. There's apparently nobody there, but it looks like somebody's there. I don't know the backstory of this. There's no backstory narrative that I have to go with here. But there's more of a close-up. And you can see. She looks like she's kind of looking down. I don't know. It looks like it could just be a person up there. I don't know how anybody could be sure that it's not just a person up there. I mean, could it be an apparition? I guess. But it could also just as easily be somebody. But this actually looks like Elvis. Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Doesn't that look like Elvis, or is it just me? Am I an idiot? Look up here. It looks like Elvis. I'll have a blue Christmas without you. Sorry, I'm an idiot with a microphone. You get what you paid for. But yeah, there you go. I don't know. What do you guys think? Is that a person, or give me a 1 if you think it's a ghost? Give me a 0 if you just think there's somebody up in the window upstairs. What do you think? I don't know what the story is. There might be a story about why that couldn't be a person up there. But I don't have any narrative to go with here. As you can see, you can only see my head, but there's no narrative here. I think it's a real woman, possibly sniffing a sock, Phil. Jesus, Phil. Disabled woman then locked away. Very sad state of affairs. Benno, you're a little broken, aren't you, brother? It's okay. 0.5 from Annie Manuel. John Stevenson, nope. Elaine, nope. 0.7, leaning more to ghost. Jaron says, got 1,000 messages. Got a congratulations from Restream. Nice job, everybody. Way to chat. I see Elvis. I think it's just somebody in the window. Yeah. 0, Yeshua, nope. Brent does a great Elvis. Well, thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks, Joanne. Hook and Good Creation by Tina, nope. Joanne, nope. Elvis, totally 100%. But nope on the ghost. Okay. Thank you, Josh. And Barbara says nope. 0. And Dog Digger says nada. Justin Goodearth, 0.5. Willing to go. Willing to entertain it. Or no, that was for the last one. Sorry. I'm trying to figure out where we're at here. Sorry about that. But it does look like Elvis, doesn't it? Well, thank you. There it is. Elvis made it a cameo on this one. So yeah, I think we're pretty much in agreement. I don't know what the story is of this building. Maybe no, there's the room's all there's no floor or something. I don't know why that couldn't be a person. I mean, looks like the rest of the building's intact. So I imagine there's a floor in there, but could it be a person? Yeah, it sure could be, because I mean, look at that. That's so well defined. It's even got flesh tones, which a lot of times on window apparitions, they're very pasty or milky. They're not usually flesh toned. So could be some of the works up there. She's just cleaning the floorboards, or the I don't know. She's vacuuming. I don't know. Just could be somebody. There's no reason to think that it isn't. So we'll go to the next one. This is a UFO one, folks. God, why does it do this? I just hate that it leaves the chat out there. I guess it's probably my fault, but I don't know why it does that. If I close it on one window, Facebook, close it on any other ones too. It's like, Jesus. It's not really that important, but it's just annoying. I have to close it on every window, every chat I've ever had for the last several days. All right, so this is from who? This is from Expediente Alien. So I guess this is either Hispanic site dealing with the alien phenomena, or it's French, maybe. I don't know. It could be any of them. But let's check this out. This is a video, and they want your subscribe. I don't know what language that is. Could be French. I don't know. Anyway, let's check it out. Here's... Oh, look at that. I'm going to get rid of that sound, but look at that. That's pretty cool capture. Zoomed right in and did a great job. If it's a fake, they did a hell of a job for those clouds and stuff. And peeking through. Ooh, there it is. There's a close-up. What do you guys think? Could this be amazing footage of some triangular-shaped UFO in the clouds? Or do you think that this is just another example of fakery? I just gotta wonder. Here's the problem that I have with it. Maybe they've been watching them for a while, and this is just a short clip of what they got. But how did they just zoom in and go, "Oh, look at that light. Let's get our camera," and that's already happening? I mean, it does look legitimate, the actual meat and taters of it. But I wish there was some kind of explanation about how did this come to be? Because without a narrative, it just looks like it's so convenient. Hey, I just happened to be shooting the clouds at night with my cell phone, and look what I caught. Could it happen? Sure, it could. But I don't know. It seems like there should be some kind of setup for why this person is out there recording. Did they see stuff? Had they been watching different things and they finally caught this one, or what? It could be legitimate, though. I mean, they did. The thing I'm looking at is, look, it's not pixelated or anything differently than the other footage around it. So it doesn't appear to be superimposed on this or to be edited in, because the resolution is identical between the sky and the craft. But what was I going to say? I forgot what else I was going to say. But let me know what you think on this one. Let's have a vote. 1, this is a great picture of extraterrestrial, possibly craft, or at least a UFO. We don't know if it's extraterrestrial or what. Drone with lights, TR3B, Brent Von Hohn says. Yeah, I mean, it could be a man-made one. Yeah, that's pretty much what people say the TR3Bs look like when they're airborne, is some triangular craft. Are man-made UFOs. Heck, you could hear it coming. Well, I don't know what that noise is, if that's this, or if it's just a noisy location they're in. I have no idea where they're filming this or why it's so loud. I suspect they're just in a noisy place, honestly. But it's anybody's guess. A drone with lights, Wes says. Yeah, I mean, it could be. They aren't usually triangular, but it wouldn't be hard to fashion a 3D printed frame on it that would look like that. That's true. That wouldn't be real hard at all. Very close to what I saw, but light was much brighter, so could be, Elaine says. Curse you, AI. Well, there is that. Could be AI, sure. AI can render absolutely photorealistic things, so we can't know that in today's age. We just don't know. Mike Prine's halfway there. Phil Funk's not buying it at all. Good to see you, Phil. Thanks for coming in, brother. And BJ Lapeer 0 looks like a drone to me. Michelle Wolfong's halfway there. With AI, I don't trust any videos anymore. That's probably the best bet, honestly. But just looking at what you're seeing, do you see anything that makes it look fake, or do you think it's more real? I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, all of these we could very easily just go 0, 0, 0 and be done with the segment, but just looking for any tells or anything. Moves like a drone hovering, Benno says. Okay, fair enough. Matters the size. We have no reference. That's true. Don't know how far up it is. It is up in the cloud level, so I would assume it's at least really sizable. Probably a little bigger than your commercial drones or consumer drones, but probably, I don't know, it could be the size of a sedan for all we know, or bigger. So it's hard to say, because it is It is up on the cloud level, which puts it at a decent distance. But then again, I've seen some pretty low clouds, so maybe not. David Barnes is all in on this one. He's all on board. Aliens be like, let's light up the bottoms of the craft. It will help us see. Nah, it'll look awesome. It's like ground effects. Yeah. That's an engine and crickets I hear subsonically. Yeah, you're probably right. It's probably just ambient noise. Brett Martinez says he's all in. Elaine's halfway there. Kitty Cattywack's halfway there. Halfway for Kedstar. Okay, what else? Anybody else? Let's see what we got over on Rumble. Car Juice says nope. Not a 0. Barbara says 0. Car Juice, 0.75. Sorry. I didn't know the last one. Okay. Now I kind of see where we are. Pretty cool, but hard to say. Fair enough, Justin. Yeah. Was going to say drone, but it only has 3 props. Yeah. Unless it's that's true. It doesn't, like most drones are 4, but it could be a fabrication around an existing drone. And since that's the part that's lit up, that's all we can see. But sure. Everything in the sky could be a drone too, I guess you could safely say. But could be either fake or real. Well, that's size scale is not there. 50-50. So you're about 0.5 then. Either way, fair enough. One I saw was the size of a pickup, daytime, disappeared right in front of us. Oh, that's incredible, Elaine. Very cool. All right, well, there we go. That's that one. And let me get the other one. The next one framed up. I got 2 more for you guys. I don't remember what this one was, though.
Okay, Geordie.
No, not that. Oh, I just screwed it up. No, I didn't. I'm okay. We're okay. This one it's Nightmare Junkie. And this one's actually kind of funny. It's kind of funny. Now, it could be very easily faked. It could very easily be faked. But if this is sincere, maybe they're having a lot of activity in the house and just kind of made a game of it, but you be the judge. Here it is. So it says Nightmare Junkie. I assume this is their video. I don't have a watermark here other than that, so I assume it's theirs. Here it is. We're looking at some guy sitting down, open doorway to outside. We don't know anything else, but here you go.
In this scary video.
Okay, so I'm not going to do the whole narration thing. They apparently had the door opening and closing, and
he ain't listening to the. I don't know what he's doing. There you go.
So it kind of like closes the door on that guy, and then it closes. Now, I don't know, because the interesting thing is he goes through, he pushes it open, comes through, and then it seems to be going again. So it almost seems like, you see right here, they got that little spring thing down on the ground, those little wobble springs. And it wouldn't be hard at all to attach something to the door to kind of hold it open and then, yank a fish line pull and get it to release so that it can close. Because the fact that he walks through it and it closes again would seem to suggest it's on some spring hinges or something, like an automatically closing door. But it doesn't have one of those big things like a commercial, but perhaps these hinges are spring loaded in some way. I assume they make something like that, but let's watch it again.
He walks up.
In this scary video, a homeowner asked their friendly ghost to close a door.
Jeffrey, close the door. He ain't listening to the. I don't know what he's doing. There you go.
Now watch, he pushes the door open and has to kick it again, and then it closes again.
Motherfuckers, I'm wait till he walks.
Or the door kind of catches on this floor and will slowly close over time anyway. It might not be an apparition thing at all. What do you guys think? They're laughing. Big Fat Zero, Karen says. Rachel says nope. Caitlin says nope. Weighted door to close automatically. I have one. Elaine says that's what it seems like. Yeah. Brett Martinez, 0. Lots of fake AI stuff on TikTok. Yeah, for sure. Ghost that knows that guy smells like BO guaranteed. Could be. Practical Joke, 0. Okay. You guys were already voting, so What are your thoughts on the one where it's like those slim, tall alien beings walking next to the shack? You know what I'm talking about. I don't know if I do. You'll have to send me that stuff. I don't know. I see thousands of videos every week, so I don't remember what you're talking about. Yeshua's nope. Annie's nope. Diane Fowler's nope. Jaren's saying nope. Phil Funk, nope. Looks like all of you are pretty much nope. I don't see one yes. Or John went serious. BS. Yeah, absolutely. I think it is too. Okay, yeah, thank you, Jaren. I don't know. Carju says nope. People are trying hard. Don't care enough. Yeah. Zero looks like it caught on the floor. That's what I was thinking, is if it's not weighted or have some spring mechanism built into the hinges, then it looks like it might hang up on the floor a little bit and will eventually shut anyway. But yeah, because he kind of has to kick it, or he pushes it open and then he has to kind of nudge it with his foot, and then it closes again after him. But I don't think it sat there and closed the door twice just as a matter of course. So yeah, I don't think that one's legit. I think you guys got it. I think you're absolutely on the money. So let's go back to the last one we got here. How are we doing for time? Yeah, we're doing good. Actually, we're doing good. Go figure. All right, here we go. I don't know what this one is. I think this is clouds. I don't remember the video, but let's see what it is. It's a video. It says David El Potro Cazadores de OVNIs. OVNIs. I don't know. I imagine it's going to be some UFO thing, but let's check it out. Here it is.
Desde sus ventanillas, un objeto es...
I don't speak the Spanish, so... Oh, yeah, this was like an orb. It's like a silver orb. I remember this one now. It's out of an airplane, or so it appears. There it is. And keep an eye on this. Yeah, a little fuzzy. Can't really see it. Got the wing in there it is. It's kind of in focus now. And it looks like something breaks off and goes down and the orb continues. But at any rate, do you think this could be a silver metallic orb? Much like that one that Stephen Greer's checking out. Looks like it could be, but I'll tell you. I'm curious what you guys say. I'm not going to weigh in on this one at all. I'm just curious what you guys think. It does seem to just disappear a lot, but let me know what you think. Yeah, the Boogosphere. That's the one I was trying to think of the name. Boogosphere. Yep. That is what it looks like. Question is, do you think this video is legit? Or do you think it's a hoax? Let me know in the chat what you think. Okay. 0.5 from Brett Martinez. Fair enough. Looks like it's split into two. It did look like that. You're right, T-Bone. 0.75 from Caitlin. 1, it's unidentified. You're right. It is an unidentified, apparently flying object. 0.5 from Phil Funk. Halfway there. John Stevenson. Nope. 0.33 from Benno. Joanne is all in. 0.8 from Jaron. I think it's probably real. Don't know what it is. There it is. 0.5 from BJ Lapierre. And 1 from Yeshua. 0.5 from Michelle. 0.5. It's too perfect looking, but I don't know. I'm sticking with 9. So what is that? A 0.9 or 9? Karen. Number 1, UAP. Wonder Woman says, I would say the reflections of the orb looks fake. Why are there 3 suns in the reflections? Yeah, that's an interesting point, Phil. 0.5 from Brent Von Hohn. 0.5 from Diane Fowler. Oh my God, 0 from Karen. Okay. It's unsettling, isn't it? To Joanne. P. Jean says it's unsettling. 0.5 Pixie Ranger. P. Jean 1. John Temperin Hoax. Karen LOL from Benno. That's a tough one. I don't know. 0. It's fat fingers. Oh, Karen. I get it now. You didn't mean 9. You meant 0. Gotcha. I'm reading out the whole freaking chat. Now it finally hits me. I understand what's going on. Caitlin says hi to 420. Zero reflection on the wrong side. Daryl Stanley says good eye. And let's see what's going on in Rumble. Barbara Moore thinks, yeah, it could be car juice. Car juice is all in on this one as Justin Goodearth, weird enough to be real. It is, and it could be. There's a couple of points where it looks like bad editing or AI, and it's right at the beginning where this feed starts. Let me do this. Let me go like this and then this again. Watch. There. That's when it kind of looks AI to me. Like it's trying to simulate the same focal points as the clouds, which I don't think works for the depth. Okay, some kid dancing. I don't think it's... I mean, it could match, but there is some weird things going on up here that just flashed that looked metallic, but it doesn't match the thing. Here, there's a part where it kind of zooms in. Maybe this is it. Yeah, that one. The way it zoomed away, it stayed in focus too long. God, I don't need to see some kid dancing, for God's sakes. I love these reels. How it just gives you all kinds of crap. Anyway, I mean, cute kid, good for you. You're dancing, whatever, but I don't care. It's not the meat and taters of the portal here. When it's really close in the window and then shoots away suddenly, it stays in focus too long. And that was what caught my eye initially as I was watching this. Something breaking away there. Now, it still could be legit. I'm not saying it can't be, but that's a red flag for me when it suddenly was in focus as it was close and it stayed in focus as it shot off towards the clouds for what seemed to me far too long. That's what I noticed and what I was thinking. That's a great shot. I mean, that looks very convincing right there. Yeah, you're right. There is it could be some reflection of the surface that you're seeing three suns. I see what you're talking about there on that close up. Looks like there's three sources of light, but we can't really see the surface of it that well, but if there's any kind of engraving like the Boogosphere, it could break up that into three distinct orb shapes. But I'm waiting for it to happen again. I should do this and then go back up. It's when it's close up of the window and then it shoots directly away, it stays in focus too long. There's other pieces in here too that seem awkward to me, but that was the one that really blared to me. I'll try to call it out when it's going to happen. And it's coming right up here. There. The way it shot away, it stayed in focus a little too long to me. It should have got blurry like the wing on the plane, the end of the wing on the plane, or the closer part of the wing, whatever. It should have went out of focus because it looks like there's a thing called the depth of field in photography, and it's how far away and close up something will remain in focus. And the way that this is blurring out and going in and stuff seems like it's pretty narrow. It's probably a cell phone, but when it shoots away like that, it should go out of focus pretty rapidly. And it doesn't. It stays in focus until it's a very small ball, and then it kind of becomes fuzzy. So, again, it doesn't mean I'm right, but it's just something airplane ball bearing, they'll crash. Jeez, John Tepper. After it says El Trayello. I don't know what Trayello is. Okay. Could be a force field around it, so its appearance is an anomaly. Yeah, I mean, could it be legit? Sure, it could. It's just there's some actions on this footage that seem really odd. Could still be legit. I'm not saying it can't be, but those are things that pointed out to me, or that stuck out to me, I should say. So, all right, this has been
The hell is that?
It has been What the Hell Is That? And now we're going to all find out together what the hell I got lined up for the Cryptid Corner, because I don't even remember. But it's about time to explore it. And we're going to do that now. I don't need to run a commercial. YouTube always wants me to run commercials live on my show. Like, hey, it's a great time for a commercial. It's like, no, it's not. It's never a good time for a commercial during the show when it's live. I don't like commercials in my own life, and I regret ever having to put them into anything I do. But unfortunately, I have bills to pay, so I got to do it. So let's get to the last segment of our show. Let me pull up this browser here. Find out. Yeah, I do have a ton. I actually have a ton of things. Pulled up from Sasquatch Chronicles blog, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to get to the last part of our show tonight, which is our exploration into the dark, shadowy corners of the Cryptid Corner. There we go. It's Cryptid Corner time, ladies and gentlemen, and we're going to be visiting none other than SasquatchChronicles.com, the blog. It's time to explore the blog, folks. And I got a ton of these pulled up, so I'm going to have enough for next week, too. As it works out, we have time for probably a couple of these. So let's get into the Cryptid Corner and find out what's going on with our first one from November 28th, Strange Events on the Reservation. A special thanks to Wes for letting us use the blog, of course. A listener writes, my family is Native American, Muskogee Creek, and I live in Oklahoma. Almost every strange thing that's ever happened to me has taken place on native land. Two of the locations were Dave's act allotments, and the most recent was at a small native church way out in the middle of nowhere. The latest incident happened outside of Okima, Oklahoma, and we were at a small Indian church on a Sunday afternoon for a cooking class. Like most Indian churches, this one is set deep in the woods. I didn't even want to go, but my mom bribed me. About halfway through the lesson, I stepped outside to take a break. I get restless easily. Everyone else stayed inside. It was around 5:30, just before sunset. I snuck a few hits on my vape, just trying to be discreet since my mom has no idea. I'm not the most observant person, probably the last one to notice anything, but even I picked up on a tap, tap, tap sound. Well, at first, I thought it was just acorns. They're everywhere here, but the rhythm was too steady and too frequent, almost like a metronome. One acorn after another falling in a pattern. Maybe there were pebbles. I honestly don't know. I actually remembered to grab my phone and record it. It's not the best recording, but I can send it to you if you want. While I stood there staring into the woods, I heard a few strange things over the next 7 minutes. The creepiest was the twig snapping. It always came from the same section of the tree line. No leaf crunches, no movement sounds, just sharp twig snaps. Over and over, like something standing still or just shifting its weight. I also heard cows, but not normal moos. These were short, snorty sounds, 3 of them. Well, later, after looking at a map, I realized there's a pasture land to the west, but the sounds I heard came from the woods on the east side. Eventually, my mom came out to get me so I could finish baking the bread, and later, while we were eating, one of the ladies stepped outside to smoke, I think. She was the only other person who'd gone out that day besides me. And by then it was fully dark, and I didn't think much of it, but then she rushed back inside with her eyes wide. She didn't say a word. She went straight to the windows on the east side of the church and pulled the curtains back like she was trying to see something. Then she opened the door on that same side and stood in the doorway, looking all around, even up. After a moment, she shut the door and sat down with her back to the windows. I wanted so badly to ask her what she saw or heard, but in Native communities, asking directly about certain things can be seen as disrespectful. So I just stayed quiet, but I'm almost certain something out there scared her. As I'm writing this, the whole thing happened just 10 days ago, and on top of that, 2 of the ladies mentioned some kind of evil church nearby, which I thought was really strange, though it's probably unrelated. My first encounter was in Eufaula, Oklahoma, during COVID in 2020, and then again the following year at the same house. We saw bizarre lights. The very first incident was when something snapped the largest branch on the trail right in front of me and my son. That experience really shook me up, and honestly, it's what led me to your show. I started listening as a way to desensitize myself by hearing other people's stories. After listening to so many encounters on Sasquatch Chronicles, I've realized that a lot of the weird things that happened in my aunt's house could have been Sasquatch related, though she insists it was little people. Oh, wow. My brother and I experienced wood knocks, a tree structure, bird whistles at 2 or 3 in the morning, knocking outside of the house, stolen food and animals, and that horrible feeling of dread or of being watched even in the daylight. I can go into much more detail if you want. I just didn't want to make this email too long. That's fascinating. I'd love to hear some of the native stories about little people. And that's not because, I mean, we hear a lot of stories about Sasquatch from everybody, but we don't hear any of those accounts from the First Nation of the little people. That to me is really fascinating. I really hope sometime somebody will hear my show and go, hey, I got some stories of little people we had. I'd be like, okay, great. Come on the podcast. I really am fascinated by the concept of these diminutive people that we share our world with. I think that's really wild. Okay, well, that was a great story, and we're going to move on to the next one. This one's from November 25th. Experiences that I still can't fully explain. A listener writes, I'm 34 now, originally from Northeast Ohio, and over the years I've had 2 experiences that I still can't fully explain. Experience 1, age 16, near Canal Fulton, late summer, and I was camping in a semi-rural area, standing at the edge of a pond around midnight. The night was quiet until a blood-curdling scream erupted from the woods across the river. Or across the water, rather. Maybe 100 yards away, and it sounded like a woman being violently attacked. A full-throated, agonizing scream that lasted 3 or 4 seconds. Everything went dead silent. Then a second call came, and it began as another high-pitched scream, but suddenly dropped into a deep, resonant roar that went on for 6 to 8 seconds. Well, the moment I heard that shift, I knew it wasn't any human or animal that I recognized. After those 2 calls, nothing else followed. No movements, no rustling, nothing. Yeah, that's got to be creepy to hear those really loud, shrill screams that just sound terrifying, and then silence. It's like, what the hell was that about? Was that the beginning of something or the end? Yikes. Terrible. Experience number 2 is Salt Fork State Park, July 2025. Just this last July. At the start of the trailhead, I noticed movement about 75 feet ahead. A completely black figure was moving away from me at an incredible speed. Only 1 or 2 seconds of visibility before it vanished behind a brush and the small ridge. Another second or 2 passed, and then it reappeared roughly 150 feet away, now moving upright and gliding left across my line of sight. I only caught another 2 seconds before it disappeared again. The terrain it crossed was thick, tangled brush so dense I later had my cousin try to walk through it just to compare. What looked effortless for the figure was almost impossible for a person. Its movement was smooth, almost floating, with none of the up and down motion that you see in a human gait. From where I stood, the ground dipped slightly downhill toward where it reappeared, yet the figure's head was still at my eye level. Well, I'd estimated it stood at around 7 feet tall. It made no sound at all. The whole thing reminded me of a professional track athlete, dressed entirely in black, cutting through terrain they had no business moving that fast, going through. The area was full of deer that morning, clustered in groups, and after the initial sighting, there was no further activity. Yikes. Huh. And Charles R. weighed in on that. Very cool. Yeah, I mean, those are 2 great experiences. There you go. Wow. Had a couple. I think we'll do one more just because I feel kind of bad that we're only fitting in a couple. So we'll do one more. This one's a little longer. We'll probably go into a little bit over time here, but here you go. From November 24th, Sasquatch Chronicles blog. It looked like a family wearing matching brown snowmobile suits. A listener writes, I live in Alberta, Canada, and I never imagined Sasquatch would ever be something I'd have to seriously consider in my life. But a couple of years ago, your podcast came on during a long road trip. Since then, I've listened to most of the episodes, and a lot of what I heard began to connect some strange, unexplainable events that had all happened in one particular area I used to hunt, west of the town of Caroline. Here's a summary of those events, roughly by year. May 2005, I was dirt biking in the area over a 3-day scouting trip. Day 1, a white-tailed doe ran straight towards our group. She stayed close within about 20 meters for nearly an hour, constantly looking back into the forest as if something was following her. It wasn't normal deer behavior at all. Day number 2, a trail we had ridden several times the day before was suddenly blocked. A stick structure had been built across it using freshly uprooted trees, placed root ball up. It wasn't there the previous day. August 2005, I was walking the same area, looking for places to set up an archery hunt. I returned to the trail that had been blocked and found a freshly built tree stand. Well, I climbed up to mark the location on my GPS, hoping to avoid the spot during hunting season. I wasn't getting a good signal, so I waited. While I was up there, something started running circles around the base of the tree. Several times, more than 5. I saw the brush moving as something ran by, but I never saw what it was. It was loud, close, and fast, but completely invisible. Whatever it was seemed determined to get my attention, while it stayed hidden. Well, I climbed down to check for tracks, and I found nothing. I moved on to another trail and continued scouting. About a kilometer away, a medium-sized tree in front of me started shaking violently. My first thought that it was a moose or an elk was rubbing its antlers on it, but as I approached, binoculars first, then close enough that binoculars were pointless, I never saw anything even near the tree. It would shake only when I moved. If I stopped and stared directly at it, the shaking stopped. If I turned away, it started again. The whole experience was strange, but at that time, it didn't scare me enough. Or it didn't scare me, it just left me puzzled. Well, I chose not to hunt in that area that year. November 2006, a normal, uneventful, successful hunt. No strange encounters. November 2007, I set up a small ground blind under a tree. After about 2 hours of nothing, I suddenly heard, or more accurately felt, a loud pop. The sound hit me like someone had pressed stadium speakers against my entire body and blasted the sound of a tongue click through me. I was instantly overwhelmed with fear and couldn't move. For a moment, I honestly thought I'd been shot, but the sensation was unlike anything I'd ever felt. After the feeling faded, I left the area immediately. 2008, November, this time I was hunting on private land, family land, about 10 kilometers from the previous area. While walking a trail, I spotted what looked like a family wearing matching brown snowmobile suits, hooded figures. Slightly peaked at the top with almost no neck showing, but it was warm that day, so the clothing made no sense. I didn't have binoculars, and I didn't raise my rifle to look. They just looked like people. I figured I'd just talk to them later and ask who else was out in the area, and I moved to a clear cut and set up a pile of deadfall. After about an hour, I was hit with the exact same mouth pop blast as the previous year. Same paralysis, same overwhelming fear, Same inability to open my eyes. When it passed, I left immediately. November 2020, I pulled my trailer into the same area where we dirt biked in 2005, planning to stay until I filled my tag. But after the first day, the trailer began having strange power issues and just wouldn't hold a charge. So I packed up early. During that trip, I discovered an unusual trackway in the snow. I didn't think to take a photo. The tracks were large, spaced extremely far apart. The stride was about 4 times mine and almost perfectly in line. You hear my stomach? The snow had a crust over deep sugar snow, so each step was just a deep impression without drag marks or scuffing. I followed the tracks with mild curiosity until they disappeared on a patch of dry ground. I returned to my truck and trailer, packed up, and I just left. None of these experiences on their own prove that a large, occasionally invisible man-ape is living in the Canadian forest, but taken together, I can't help feeling that something outside the accepted list of wildlife is actually out there. Something we aren't supposed to have, at least not officially. Whatever it is, it's real enough that I no longer dismiss the possibility. Oh, that was a very comprehensive list, though. The guy obviously is very detail-oriented. Very cool. Very organized. I'd be like, well, this one time this happened, then another time this happened. I would not be nearly as cohesive in my story as this person was. Very well done. But, I don't know. I'm getting a little froggy, so I apologize, but I just want you to know I love you all. I thank you for being here with me. This is the last live show for the week because it's the last day of the week. Tomorrow's the first day of next week, and I'll be back on Wednesday with the new live stream for you guys to hang out with me and see what we can get into. But watch on Monday for the new podcast episode. Every Monday I release podcast audio only. Find it on all of the platforms. You got a cell phone, just go to your podcast app and look for Paranormal Portal. You'll find it. Those are very different shows than these live streams. They're not the same. They're not the same at all. They're absolutely different. So these are more variety shows, but the podcast is more interview based. I talk to people. So I hope you'll tune in and check it out if you haven't already. But that's all I got time for now. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Whatever you're doing, enjoy yourself, and I'll see you on Wednesday night. Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, the live shows happen. 7 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I hope you'll join me. Good night, everybody. Take care. We'll see you next time. And remember, I love you all. Be good, be kind, be nice. Take care of each other. Help each other out. Find the magic in every day and remember to laugh as much as you can. Good night, everybody. I'm going to roll the credits. I will eventually redo the members thank you screen. I do apologize. I feel embarrassed every time, but I haven't done it yet. So my apologies. It's on my to-do list. Okay. Good night, everybody.